Hey, and welcome to Lemon Drops, brought to you by the Smokeylemon crew. Well, we're talking branding, marketing, and everything in between. So grab a coffee, sit back, and let's drop in. Welcome along to our next episode of Lemon Drops, and today we've got one of our own with us, our amazing creative director, Jimi Hunt. Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, Anau. How you going?
Good, thanks. Welcome back to New Plymouth.
Thank you. It's pretty chilly.
Yeah, just a bit, eh?
It's a bit chilly.
You don't get this weather up in Auckland.
Well, we do, not to the extreme,
Yeah.
though. It cuts to the bone.
It does, eh?
Yeah.
It's the monger.
It's the snow on the mountain. Yeah.
But while you're here, it's great to get you back in the podcast room.
Thank you. Very arm twisting involved.
No, you love it, eh, Jimmy? You love it. But we thought we've noticed a bit of a pattern with rebranding with our clients lately. So we thought we could talk a little bit about rebranding and what goes behind it and the reasons for it. So,
Okay. Sounds exciting.
Okay.
Jump in.
Shall we rip it?
Yeah.
Shall we crack on as man
Crack
yes?
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are the common reasons that clients decide that it's time for a rebrand?
I mean, probably one of the main reasons is a disconnect from their audience to their brand. Like their brand could be on the older side of things. Or other reasons could be they're expanding their audience base, or they have new products, or they're merging companies, which is we've seen quite a bit of lately as well. So it's getting a brand that really encompasses all their products and services and really represents their brand story and who they are as a business.
So when we say rebrand, do we think is that like a new logo or a new name or a new website or everything?
Yeah, there are tiers to this. So we offer quite a few solutions in terms of what we can do. So right from, supplying a pencil sketch on a napkin, as you can say, right through to a full rework of your brand, recrafting the brand story and the values of the company. So it's scalable. Yeah. So if you're looking at it, it's definitely worth a conversation first. So.
Yeah, true. And to what level to go to.
Yeah.
What about some signals or red flags that indicate a client has outgrown what it has and needs a refresh? What are some signs?
I think it's definitely the interaction that they're kind of expecting they will have. Like that could be on their social platforms or their websites or even their, video or content and that kind of stuff. So it's really about seeing what their goals are as a business, what they want to achieve, where they want to go, because, every business has those goals, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And a brand is really that core thing that gives a company credibility. So if your brand isn't really at a state of play where it is supplying that credibility, it's not going to help your sales. So that's what a brand does.
Okay. So that's when, if you're not getting that, your sales, it might be time.
Yeah, it's something we could look at. And we're not going to sell you something that's not going to work within what you're trying to achieve. We're here to help you support and grow your business.
And that's what you just touched on before, how you can help clients identify whether they need a full brand refresh or just a part.
Yeah. So it's really looking at what you've got. So that comes as part of the scoping process, figuring out what's going to be the best solution for you. And that's also going to work within your proposed budget. Yeah.
So what about, could you walk us through the typical process that we follow here at Smokeylemon for rebranding a client?
Yes, so that does depend on the scale and the scope of the project. If it's a larger project, that's something we will start with workshops. So looking at a brand or marketing workshop or combining the two. We can either do that over a number of days or hours. That really depends on budget as well.
True.
So, but for us, it's more of an educational piece where we get to understand the person's brand, what they want to achieve out of it, if there's any new values or mission statements that can help formulate that. So if that all needs a rework as well. So that's really the fundamentals behind how a brand is conceived or developed.
So when you're doing a rebrand, is it sometimes redoing your mission statement and that's part of that?
100%, because it's all about what we see a lot of is it's really about the people in your business. So really focusing what your brand's mission statements and your values are around who your people are, and then taking it out to customers or clients. So it really is sort of getting those fundamentals in place first before we even, technically put pen to paper, and start designing. So that really sort of helps, and it's a two-way process. So it really helps you as a business finding out who you are or who you want to be to help your business grow. And it also helps us is from a creative point of view, understand what you're trying to achieve and what the driving key pillars will be from a creative perspective.
And sometimes it's just that fire underneath you that business needs to get going again in a way.
I think so.
Living by those values.
Yeah, and it's really great to sort of see clients get excited about their brand again. So
true.
And that's what a primary outcome, I guess, could be with a rebrand is, for getting your team, getting yourself reinvigorated about your brand and pushing it forward and taking that next step. Yeah.
How do you balance, obviously creative director, very creative. How do you balance client input versus your creative direction during a rebrand?
Yeah. I think first off, it's really understanding what their goals are and what they want to achieve. But I was writing notes about this before, and it's really about providing feedback on their feedback, and but not doing that in a way that is telling them what you need to do. It's working with them and go, oh, have you thought about this? And visualizing it so they can actually see it, which is really part of the creative process. I don't think anyone really gets a brand design off straight away. It's a process. So, and that's something we need to remember. That we need to work through together as a team, and that's how we as Smokeylemon like to approach that too.
For sure.
It's a collaborative effort with the client as well as us. We're not just going to go, here you go.
This is what you should have, because it's a piece of art in a way, and so it's going to develop, right? Yeah.
Well, it's going to have that connection. They've got to feel that personal connection that relates to them, and they're proud of what the vision are.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
How do you ensure that new brand then resonates with existing and new audiences?
I think we've done a lot of historic brands recently that have been around a long time. So it's really about taking the elements that are still going to pay homage to the past, but elevating it in a new way that's going to bring in new customers and elevate it into look and feel that feels more of the day.
So a great example of that would be Yellow Bites,
which
was JJ Wafers,
which
is your old-fashioned pink ice cream wafer cone, wafer biscuits.
Ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
So they their brand was around for 45 years, I think, when we got our hands on it, and it's one of those historic brands that you want to value the past, but they did a name change at the same time, so it's a little bit different in terms of progressing a brand. It's a complete rebrand. So it's a different direction. They're taking the company in a new directive. So I think the way we kind of approached that was in its mission statements and its values. You can even see in the foyer at the factory, we've got their whole sort of historic past as well. So it's valuing,
nodding that too.
Yeah, paying homage to where they've come from, but they're taking it into a new era.
But that's nice because it's not cancelling out, all the history and it's still there because that history helps drive what the business is too, right?
It's got it to this point in time. So it's really it's valuable and it pays respect to the previous owners as well.
For sure. Yeah. Is there a best time of the year to launch a rebrand?
Is there ever?
Anytime's a good time here at Smokeylemon.
Yeah. Well, we are noticing in terms of, current market trends that people do that in the winter months.
When it's quieter?
Yeah, and I think that's probably the lead into spring as well, where, it's starting to shine a bit more, it's getting a bit warmer, so people start thinking about spending money. So to have that kind of fresh look going into spring, summer, I think is a really good point, and that's primarily what we've been focusing on the last 2 to 3 months.
So here at Smokeylemon, winter gets quite busy for rebranding.
It does, I've been beavering away, I have to say, for the past few months. So
so that's quite a strategic time then for businesses to focus on rebranding. A quieter time.
Depending on their business. Some businesses are busy all year round, but some businesses can get quieter in the cooler months. So it is a good time to sort of, have a look at what you're doing and what's going out to market. How can we improve on that? Is there an opportunity for a refresh? Do we need to think about it as it being, good 25 years doing it to rebrand. It could be a really good time to have a look at that.
Do clients get nervous about the change?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, it's their company. They've put their heart and soul and all their money's tied up in this.
That's
so
right.
It has to be right for them. It needs to hit the value points, the markers that they're after. And it's something that we work through because we like to see clients get really happy about it and excited. So it needs to hit what they're trying to achieve.
Which all comes down to the brief and what we deliver.
Exactly, and that's why we like to do it in a very collaborative way. Like, you need to be with us on every step of the way. We're not the kind of agency you'll go, okay, we'll go away and do some work. We like to have a lot of live feedback, so it could be quite a personalised relationship working with us. So we could just send you feedback every day almost, if that works best for you. If you haven't got time to sit down and review something for hours on end, we can just send you quick updates, or just something that I do quite regularly.
And that helps eliminate that nervousness or, just holding their hands along the way. Because change is scary, right?
Change is scary. It's scary for everyone.
Yeah.
And,
but it's also a little bit exhilarating.
It is. I think it's, it gives you a new sort of sense of passion.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone gets nervous. So. That's
So
kind of thing.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, Jimmy, we've touched on Yellow Bites. It was a massive rebrand for a historical business. But can you share a story behind some of our other recent ones? So, Coastal Medical, that was big.
Yeah. That was, what kind of story do you want? Oh, we love Coastal Medical.
Yeah.
They're very valued clients.
Very much.
And it was a really neat experience working with them. I have to say, like, a story. Do you want, like, a little antidote?
Sure. We're loving an antidote.
Yeah, so, I mean, the whole project was a really interesting project to work on because they've got so many businesses around the Maunga. So it's sort of, Opunake, Stratford, Oakura, Taranaki, and the introduction of the healthcare hub here in New Plymouth.
Yes. The new one out, Edward Road.
Yeah, you would have seen the signs and new building and stuff.
Made.
Yeah. So
designed.
When we started that project, each business had a different brand. Like, they had their own identity. So it's really about amalgamating and bringing all those brands under one umbrella. So there was a little bit of confusion around who owned what. There's also Skin on 45 as well. Which
is one of theirs too.
It is, we did a little bit of refinement for that as well. But in terms of a story about that, I have to think, doing the videography for their brand story was really, really cool. Especially sort of going out to Brent's farm and, doing the videography on the back of a four-wheeler, a quad. Yeah. And with my camera hanging off the side, he's running his horse down the beach and stuff.
Real cameraman.
Yeah, it was pretty cold. 6:00 in the morning.
There's some great footage though. And because that was to get a little glimpse behind the people of Coastal Medical.
Yeah. And that's kind of one of the really strong touch points with that as well. It's about the people and valuing who they are, and the uniqueness of Taranaki and how people work in the region. So it's really about having that localized connection with their patients, offering new services and a new medical centre, which is stunning. I don't know if you've been out there.
Incredible. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And there's a Coastal Medical lighting above the reception that was part of that. Would have been what about Brand Lab amalgamation?
Yeah, we work with Brand Lab with Dylan on that. So he does some beautiful signage work as we've seen. Now the front of Smokeylemon, he did ours, which looks awesome. So he really elevated that and got it to a point that the client was really happy with. And I think it's been a really great partnership working with Dylan and Brand Lab, and there was actually another rebrand that we did as well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's true. Which when we did our, you can look up our podcast with Dylan that talks all about that. So another one was Cruise Te Anau. So I was a little bit involved in that one. So a local couple from here, the Musgraves, down in Te Anau, took over a cruise, like a river cruise, and from Like,
yeah, that was
sorry, excuse me. Yeah.
yeah.
I was trying to say it's not like the Carnival cruises, you know, like it's not like a cruise ship.
Yeah.
But anyway, they took over the business that had been going for a long time.
Yeah.
But they wanted to completely refresh and put their own stamp on it.
100%. And I think that has to be one of my other favourite projects.
Yeah, that was awesome.
24, 25. Yeah, they are an awesome couple. I've loved working with them. We're still their creative partner today. And obviously the scale of the project quite different to Coastal Medical. So how we approached that is I think their son actually did a initial design.
That's right.
And then they came to us and briefed us on the project and what they wanted to achieve, and the budget was quite different, so we had to cater to that.
Which we can do.
Which we can do, yeah.
Well, we try.
Yeah, and it was really fun, creative project. They're very descriptive about what they're like in terms of like their touch points of the project is. You know, when you think of like cruises, you think of like the traditional like wheel turning like ship, you know, blue and white stripe, that kind of really
anchor type,
which is not what they wanted. And they wanted to offer like a unique New Zealand experience, like salt of the earth. And it needed to feel it's not
kind of earthy.
I guess is the point. Is connected with nature.
Yes,
is the kind of connection they wanted, because they wanted to provide unique services in terms of like fishing, supply travel for hunting, and they also do like their cruises as well around Lake Anau. So they're operational 24/7.
Yeah.
So I think they even go out to like Stewart Island as well.
And they'll do like drop-offs to Milford Track.
Yeah.
So with that design, you created a whole colour palette for them going forward as well.
Yes, a colour palette, brand assets as well.
So when we say brand assets, we mean like logos for your teas or your cars and those sorts of things.
Supporting elements that sort of help anchor the brand's imagery, things like that. And that are obviously connected into their website and their social media. We had lots of discussions around social media. They're quite hesitant on like doing Instagram, Facebook. They're now on TikTok as well, but Erica has really sort of taken off with the socials, because that's, you know, the first kind of touch point other than your website that people are going to look at. And it's really hard for people in our age bracket.
It is,
to sort of get really down with the socials.
But clients or potential clients want to see how active you are, what have you been doing. And,
It's a personalised touch point for people to see exactly what you're doing. Like a lot of people do the really slick marketing videos and stuff, but it's not authentic in terms of a sale. Like, you know, you can go to the beautiful website, looks great, but you know, if you go to socials and see, you know, reels and things like that actually showcase what you will be doing.
Like as an example of them out on trips and
on the boat. You know, it's a really great touch point to help grow your business. So they've been doing a lot of that, and Erica's really done an awesome job with that.
She's come a long way since their first real video.
Great.
And then like you had brands like ICS who are based in Stratford.
Industrial Chemical Solutions.
And P&P Engineering.
Yes, P&P Engineering, our friends at P&P.
Yeah.
They did a massive change again. I think that was a 40-year-old brand, and I don't think it really changed much in that 40 years.
No, so P&P was part of the platform. And then we just synced them a bit more and streamlined it.
Well, it was, we kind of turned it on its head, really, to be honest. There was quite a traditional setup in terms of what their service offerings were. Glenn, the new general manager who came in, they've done a lot of looking at different kinds of technology, so looking at hydrogen power and things like that. So obviously the company started with, you know, the oil and gas industry, providing engineering design for that industry, and obviously they're expanding above that, and they do a lot of work overseas as well. So we really needed to develop a brand that elevated their credibility, made them seem as progressive as they are.
Yes.
because it really sort of like limited them in terms of like people looking at the brand who are like, oh well, you know, this brand's, it's got to a point and it hasn't really evolved. So that's kind of what we needed to look at and pushing it into a bit of a new era.
And humanising it a little bit too.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
We did a lot of work with their values and how they see themselves and how they run themselves as a business. And that was really important to the company to start the whole process.
Well, that's the core laid down then, isn't it?
Yeah, get the fundamentals right and then the brand will come.
Well, we hope it does.
Yeah.
How do you measure the success of a rebrand once it's launched? Or I don't know if it's but how is it measured?
I think it's sort of seeing people get excited about the brand again, really. What people sort of think is when they get a new brand, they'll instantly get new sales. But the brand itself is really the credibility to help you in that sales process and close that deal.
That's right. And it's going to be embedded once you have a new brand too.
It does, yeah. So it's really a supporting tool in terms of your sales process. But I think just sort of seeing, I mean, you're going to get feedback no matter what. You're not going to please everyone.
No.
But I think for me, dealing with clients is going when they have that eureka moment or the I love it moment.
Yeah.
That's a success in a brand. Because I think first off, the owner, the company, the client, they need to be happy with the brand. So
if they're ignited, then
that's a success point. I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you give? What do you have advice for a business owner that might be on the fence about rebranding?
Yeah. I think it's really looking at what you're trying to achieve, and if that's not really working. So if you're not getting the traffic through on your website or your socials, or you're not getting the customer that you want through the doors, perhaps it is time to start having a look at that. It didn't have to be a full rebrand. It could be a smaller refresh. I'm working on a refresh at the moment with a company. I won't say who they are, but really good example. And we just looked at their colorways. Their colorways were orange and blue. But their product is really a premium product. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars. And color psychology, orange can sort of devalue products. So that's something, I mean, it's a very humanized color and it does have that warmth to it. But when you're looking at an ultra premium product, you've got to look at your colorways, your fonts, and that's kind of what we looked at with them. So looking at a more geometric font that feels more elevated, and with their font, with their logo itself, it was basically just a color change and a byline change. So it wasn't redesigning a physical logo. It's looking at your assets and elements and elevating those, which is a more cost-effective way of doing things.
That's an option, so you can refresh or rebrand the two things. So out of curiosity, what colour did you change the orange to? That's not locked in yet, or?
It is. It's kind of, what have I called it? I like to name my colours. So I've called this one Stone. Stone has replaced the orange.
Right, sure.
So we've got a couple of blues, and it's kind of a grey. So the blues are working in with the grey. So you've got the contrast of the lighter blue with the grey. And there's like a green undertone in the grey as well. So it gives that kind of like more elevated.
Already sounds it,
and I wanted it, because it's an outdoor product, I wanted to have that connection to the outdoors. So it's really good as part of your brand story to really understand, like, colours even come into that too. So if you're looking at a product that is primarily outdoors, how do we replicate that? We want to have the attachment to, like, the grass, the trees, that kind of thing. So as an example.
Well, we look forward to seeing that, but when it's allowed to be public. But what we can do is put some links below to some of the rebrands and refreshes we've done, so you can easy to find that way too. So any common misconceptions about what a rebrand can achieve?
I think I just touched on it before. A new brand turns into sales. No, it helps you with the sales process in terms of credibility. It helps with your credibility.
Okay. And finally, for you, Jimmy, what's the most rewarding part of guiding a client through that successful rebrand?
I think it's just sort of seeing them re-energized again about their brand. And I think a lot of the time, like I have a lot of clients who come back to me and go, we've just done this and look at this. And that's really nice. And I always have time for that.
Because you've reinvigorated their passion.
Yeah. And I don't mind having a conversation. I was like, have you thought about this? No, that's a great idea. And they're off they go and, take a brand and really run with it. So we want to make sure that people set up the best way possible and have all the assets and things and the understanding of the brand. They need to talk passionately about it and really sell it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, we've still got space on our books for all the rebranding that's going to come flooding in after this podcast.
We do. Yeah. We make to schedule so.
But whether it's a rebrand or a refresh or just a chat, just to get the ball rolling, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, I think it's, touch base with us. If it's something you're thinking about, we're more than willing to have a chat about your brand and offer ideas and thoughts about where it could go. And,
for sure.
Cost something up for you. It's, it's not something you have to rush into and it can be done in stages. Especially if you look at how many people are going to be involved in it. If you're designing a little bit by committee, it could be a longer period of time, so maybe a factor in that as part of your scoping process. But we're always happy to help.
Brilliant.
And talk to people about what they want to do.
Well, it's been great catching up with you today, Jimmy, especially about the rebranding. And next time you're down, we'll accost you back into the podcast room.
Yeah, thanks, Anna.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time on Lemon Drops.
Sure.